Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Unfound Podcast Channel on YouTube. I am, of course, Unfound's host, Ed Densel. Before I get into this map analysis for the disappearance of Clinton Thomas Sr., I hope you will like this video. I hope you will subscribe to this channel. Please share it, like it, whatever you got to do. And if you'd like to support what we do here at Unfound, please hit the join button below. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to try to present this in a very organized fashion. We went over a lot of different locations in Clinton's episode, and I've kind of narrowed it down to the three most important ones. And for the first time, I think publicly, someone, myself, is going to reveal exactly where was his truck found. Because if you've looked into this disappearance, if you've read any of the articles out there, none of them have specifically said. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly where, and then you will better, I think, understand the bizarreness of why this truck was not seen much more quickly. Now, one location that I chose not to have in this video is where Clinton was moving. He was moving to a place called Spavinaw, Spanivaw, and it is way up here to the northeast, way up in this area. As Mary and Clinton Jr. said, about 2 hours away to the northeast. I just don't think that it's relevant to put that, to diagram that and show you where it is, other than to just put the cursor there. So instead, I just chose these three locations, and then eventually we're going to zoom into the location Weleetka, and this is Weleetka up here at the top of the screen, even though it's not labeled Weleetka. That's it, and you'll see that in a bit. So here are the three main locations. Dustin, the area of Dustin, where Clinton Thomas Sr. lived, although I did not put it right on exactly where he lived. I really don't know how important that is. Then over here in Wetumpka, this Dairy Queen, that is right there. And then up here, like I said, is Weleetka right there at the top of the screen. What you first should really notice is this little white box here. It says 27 minutes / 23.3 miles. That is how long it would take, or the distance in miles, from Dustin to Weleetka through Wetumpka. So we're talking about a very small area here. Very small. And in fact, in a moment, I'm going to delete Wetumpka from the map, and then you'll see how close it is from generally where Clinton lived to Weleetka. So that's something very important to understand. Now, you may say, well, it's a little weird, couple old guys going for Dairy Queen so far out of the way. I really, if that's what William Dinscore said they did, and I think that in the interview, Clinton's children said, yes, they did find somebody at that Dairy Queen who noticed, who recognized their father. I don't know what to tell you. I guess we have to believe it. So they're in Dustin. William Dinscore also lives in this general area. It's not like he had to tow it 2 hours away. He also lives in the Weleetka, Dustin area. And the story that is told is they're in Dustin. They get Clinton's dune buggy, tow it to Williams, but Clinton Sr. has a problem with the truck that he usually uses to tow things that has a flat tire. So they say the heck with it, getting the Jeep at least that day, and they go over to Wetumpka. And this is where, allegedly, the two go their opposite ways. I don't know if they were in the same vehicle. Maybe William drove Clinton back to Dustin or something. We don't know. I don't think we know. All we know is after Dairy Queen, according to William, they went their separate ways at some point during the day. And as we talked about in the interview, at some point there was an AutoZone or Riley's Auto Parts somewhere that showed that Clinton had been there that day. That also all goes into the map right here, although I've not diagrammed it. But at some point later that day or that night, and in the interview you will hear, I have some real problems with this witness. We're getting this third party and everything. I don't know what to make of it. Obviously, somebody put the truck there, but I don't know if I'm going believe the actual story that we got, that the family's gotten through a third party. So they're in Dustin, they're in Wetumpka, and then later that day, that night, somehow the running truck, of course it wasn't running when we eventually found it, but the running truck of Clinton Thomas Sr. was found in Weleetka, and this is Weleetka, as you can see, Weleetka Junior Senior High School, and Weleetka, just the town name right there. That is how you spell it. For the first time, I think, publicly, the location was on this little block right here. This is the church that we talked about, although it has been described otherwise as maybe a place also that people in the area, poor people, can go, canned goods and things. That's how it's also thought of locally. This is that building right there, and it's known as Christ Community Church, something like that. And I'm going to do a street view so we can see the sign. So here, right here on this little rectangle, right here in the center of the screen, is where the truck was. It was not parked because it seems it broke down, and whoever was in the truck kind of just drifted onto this property right here. And as you can see, the parking lot is not paved; it's grass. I'm going to show that to you in a street view. Now you may be asking, well, what about this doctor's office? How close was it? Mary might have exaggerated a little bit, saying it's 300 feet. It's over here. It might be more like 600 feet, 700 feet, but certainly close. Certainly reasonable to believe that people at the doctor's office had seen her for that week. I don't think that's an exaggeration. But it's over here down to the southwest. Over here. Once again, right here is where the truck was on this little piece of property. Now you may be asking, and this was where the outrage comes from, where's the police department? Well, you can already see it on the map. The Weleetka Police Department is right here. This is where the truck was. This is where, now that might be 300 feet, maybe a little more, maybe 400 feet. The truck was sitting 300 to 400 feet away from the Weleetka Police Department, and they never saw it. In addition, there, as you can see here, there is another local government office right across the street. The Weleetka City Clerk right across the street. Nobody said anything. It took people at the doctor's office way over here to notice. And when I say way, only because it is certainly farther away than the police department and the city clerk is. It took them over here to notice that his truck was sitting there for a week, even though people were looking for him and he had been reported missing. I don't know what to tell you, but those are the facts. So now I'm going to go down to a street view, and then I'm going to go back to satellite view to show you a couple other things. Now, what catches my attention here, we might think, so here's I guess what we would say, the front of the church, and you can see the sign right near Christ Community Church right there. But what's interesting to me is maybe the reason that the truck didn't stick out to the police or anybody is because you can see that it seems the church does allow other businesses to park their trucks on that property. Look, there's a vehicle there. So there's the back of the church right here on the left of the screen. Well, there's a couple vehicles. What is this? A Jeep, some sort of SUV right there. We have this vehicle, and then we have these Asplund trucks, and that's like a national business. They go about clearing trees away, limbs away from power lines, things like that with the wood chippers on the back. Yeah, we're not going there in this video. So it very well may be that the truck, for most people, just kind of blended into the background because this church has the idea that, well, if the parking lot's not being used, we're more than happy to allow other people to use it. Now maybe they're charging them. I don't know. This is just a guess, and it very well may be that there's some sort of property line in here. This isn't the church's property over here. But here's what I surely know: this is not Asplund's property either. So this is something to consider. Is it possible that the truck's sitting there just because of the locals kind of knowing, well, vehicles are sitting over there all the time? It just didn't stand out. I guess we have to be open to that. But this is, and you can even see there's a couple 18-wheelers here, semi-trucks here, and this is like a different day doing this. This is from May of 2019, so not even a year after. We can see these trucks and cars sitting there, and it doesn't look like church is in session. So this might have just been something that was accepted. And and after a time, the vehicles that are sitting on the property just kind of blend into the background. But that is the piece of property where the truck was found. I don't know. Clinton and Mary have not told me, to the square foot where his truck was. Was it over here? Was it over there on the far side? I don't know. But it wasn't parked because it seemingly was drifted in. So this is it right here. We can't argue, though, right in the middle of town. Almost, that's not even an exaggeration. Right in the middle of town. And to remind all of you also, the people at this church never said anything. Once again, though, may just very well be that, well, we just allow people to park on our property. That could be it. Maybe that is the explanation. So let's zoom out, and I want to do this. We at least have to, I at least have to talk about it. I'm not saying you have to believe it. I'm not saying I believe it, but we're going to do this. So I'm going to take the Dairy Queen location out of this. And so here we go. Approximately, this is the distance from where from where Clinton lived to where Weleetka is. 13 minutes, 10 miles. Not far if you're driving. Certainly far if you are walking. And I realize a lot of people will say, well, there's no way he would have considered walking. Well, we don't know what frame of mind he was in. Maybe he was so ticked off about the truck breaking down. He already had one truck with a flat tire. Now this truck, the clutch or transmission goes out on it. Just not in his right mind. Just blind rage. What's going on here? Not thinking straight. Just frustrated and everything, and he decides to walk, and that ends up being a bad idea. I know most people reject that, but we don't know his mind at that moment if it was Clinton Thomas Sr. who put the truck there. Now, if somebody else left the truck there, then we certainly have to be thinking about foul play for his disappearance. Certainly. But I wouldn't want to walk 10 miles, especially at night. And of course, he had a phone. He could have called somebody. But what if the truck did get left there late at night? Maybe he felt bad about waking somebody up. Although, like his daughter said, Mary said, he was known to sleep in his truck. But we also have to keep in mind, this is August. Of course, did the truck have air conditioning? I don't know. He could have left it idling. The engine would still work even if the transmission doesn't work. But maybe he had to go to the bathroom. I don't know. I'm going to say it again. We don't know the frame of mind that he was in. I realize, though, most people reject that he would have tried to have walked it. And I'm also guessing he knew at least one person in Weleetka. He could have gone to that person's house, maybe in town. Of course, the alternative to this is then maybe we have to believe this other witness who said, yeah, somebody else parked the truck there and that person walked off. We're still talking about walking. If this was foul play and this person was trying to take Clinton's truck somewhere and ditch it, ditch it, then why didn't this person, when the truck broke down, just, oh, there's something wrong with his truck, call somebody, and why wasn't there somebody right there to pick this person up? That's also something to consider, but it also might be that the person actually who left the truck there actually lives in Weleetka, but the issue is that would not be William Dinscore. He did not live in downtown Weleetka. So I think that's all that I wanted to go over regarding Clinton's disappearance. Those are all the locations. It is a little bit of a stumper. I have a feeling that people are going to be fairly split on this and be very suspicious of William Dinscore. And I will, of course, be writing about my insights, deeper insights into his disappearance at patreon.com/Unfound Podcast. Please sign up if you'd like to get into my mind regarding Clinton's and a bunch of other people's disappearances that we've already featured on Unfound. Thank you for watching. Please record, please like this video, share it, and consider joining. Until next time.